Hi and welcome to my channel. Today is gonna be a faceless video, and I am just gonna present really the environment that I created. Plus, I'm gonna jump back to Clayton and Natalie. Sorry about keeping you on pause over here, but let me just jump into the AB Mastermind. For me, AB Mastermind is the top level mastermind that I have created, and it is good for solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, business owners, or leaders with organizations that want to change something in their environment, be more productive, be connected with themselves, because without that, you really cannot achieve your goals and results. But since I am connecting with a lot of financial advisors, and that is important for life, and for many people retirement is important. I don't look at the retirement the same way. I am trying to build abundance, and not only for me, my family, but as well for others that are surrounding me. So I have created specific paths for various individuals that I'll be talking with this year. Plus, I'm going back to the individuals that really were kind to me, were always helpful, and they were in some leadership positions. So I will explain this in other episodes, but it's gonna be one episode per week, and they're mainly gonna be interviews with other professionals, other coaches, other advisors, as well as I will be showing you a good path in life. So, AB Mastermind, please just read through it, and I am open for the one-on-one consultations. I do have several platforms that I am using to not preach, but really show the right path for a lot of business owners to be more happy, be more productive, and the easiest way to connect with me is this page that I'm gonna be attaching to all my communications. So this is really abmastermind.com mission page. I am gonna rebuild the mission a little bit more, and I'm gonna have clear structures for specific groups of individuals. I work with a lot of real estate professionals, as well as financial advisors and advisors that really noticed that over last 3 years, the AI is no joke. I treat AI and agentic and generative AI really as a powerful structure that hopefully will help humanity. And I'll be explaining this a little bit more. The live Zoom sessions are available on a daily basis. Those not require memberships or attendance to the clubs, that I will explain in a second or at the end of the episode. This needs to be short because I do have a appointment at 1 p.m. So it cannot go for a long like previous episodes. So if you want to listen and find out a little bit more what I'm doing, those episodes are released and recorded. So connection times, Monday 7 p.m. It's really networking, really talking with other professionals. Wednesdays, I am focusing at 3 p.m. I'm talking about the health with AI diagnostics, really wellness challenges, travel as a lifestyle, and what is the difference for me between work-life balance versus work-life integration. I'll be talking about career as well as various investment opportunities. And then at 6 on Wednesday, explaining more a little bit about Business and Life Skills Academy, Business Incubator, Business Accelerator. This is a support call for those that are going to be taking and applying for the certification programs that are within that academy. Thursday at 2 p.m., it's an open meeting for the business owners, brokers, investors. I'm going to be talking about my real estate investment project, and I will be also engaging with other speakers. It's gonna be networking meeting. Saturday, focused meetings, different types of workshops. Those are gonna be recorded, but it's also a kind of open support call. So if you are a business owner that you don't want to talk with the recording specifically about your structures, about your business, uh, I do have those conversations inside of the Grow Connection platform that is really not that expensive and quite open. And then really would like to meet with more professionals, with more individuals. So I strongly invite you to reserve the seat at the next dinner and networking event that I'm doing on June 4th. That is in Glenview. We'll have a nice dinner and do some networking. And then opportunities that I need to change this on this website right now because today is May 19th. But on Fridays around 6:30, we do have a small meetups for really real estate professionals as well as service company business owners, those that want to grow their operations and need to do it with a specific path and maybe engaging with some mindset changes perspective. So next one is this coming Friday at 6:30. When you click on this, you will be taken to the different page that you can register for the meeting, and the address will be provided. And I strongly invite you to apply to the mastermind programs with the specific certification tracks and not much time commitment, but you really need to change a little bit maybe your perspective, maybe your mindset. I have two distinctive products that I'm selling. It's one is called Business in a Box, mainly for the service type of organization, and Community in a Box that is good for really, I think, real estate brokers and trusted professionals that are within this environment. And the example of the Community in a Box product is really Glenview Mastermind. And yeah, more information. This is also access to get on one-on-one with me. And yes, the first consultation that is only 30 minutes is complimentary. And next one, I'll ask you to really connect with me via this environment. So pure experts, you do need to subscribe to some membership tiers depending on what you want to achieve within our environment, and different tiers for the professionals. This is for my Polish American network, and then specifically for the entry level for the real estate investments. Service providers, those that do care for elders or for want to find out a little bit more about the co-living solutions. This is the entry club. Those that really want to accelerate and support the practice, I do have higher tiers as well as simple entry points to the masterminds that you can get into via try on a trial basis, and those are a little bit more expensive, but you can also become a sponsor of the education through sponsoring either somebody that you trust or maybe your partner, maybe your significant other, and I will be clearly talking about it. And then At this point, I am looking for clear educational wing sponsors for the academy, and as well as those that would like to be involved in my projects. I call it moonshot projects, based on really what Peter is doing. So if you are not aware about Peter Diamandis, I really strongly suggest you to read a few of the books and get into his environment, really for a big mind changes. He's focusing really on longevity right now, and that is the goal. And again, newsletter. I will be producing a blog that is clear, and that's the no fee entry point to my environment. But I know that I'll be purging that email list within this month, from those that really don't need that information or don't want to engage with me. And Pure Experts is another entry, but within the Pure Experts, I will be curating trusted service providers as well, talking through the specific clubs. So today, just want to jump into like a news, and right now I am still using and trying to listen to the right journalists, and that's how I see Clayton and Natalie. They always bring the good information. Please subscribe to their Redacted, and you will be able to get that information directly as they're producing the show. Today, my purpose is I didn't had a chance to watch that episode, so I'm just recording it along with few ads, but I will be skipping through their ads. We'll see who they got as a speakers today, and it should be short episodes. So let's jump into it.
President Trump's Mideast trip is in many ways a game changer, from his anti-interventionist speech the other day in Saudi Arabia to shaking hands with an ISIS leader who's now running Syria. Hey, forget about all those murders, the killing of Christians, and all of that. You're a handsome man, and that's all in the past now, I guess. To this, which Clandestine posted this earlier, and I thought it was fascinating. It says, hear me out. What if Trump just negotiated a new deal with Iran without Netanyahu? Trump visited the Red Arrows near Iran's border in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE. Now we get news that Iran are willing to give up their nuclear weapons. I find it hard to believe this is all merely coincidence. To me, it looks like Trump's trip to the Middle East might not actually be about signing economic deals with Saudi Arabia and Qatar. I think more is going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. The real meetings are going on behind closed doors. Trump is up to something. And I tend to agree. Something big seems to be brewing here.
Redacted is brought to you by Hillsdale College. They are an online university that offers more than 40 free. All of these are free. You can take how even most important. Your free course right now. Again, I'm recommending you look into it. Introduction to Aristotle's Ethics, How to Lead a Good Life with Dr. Larry Arnn. So right now, go to hillsdale.edu/redacted to enroll. There's no cost. It's easy to get started. One more time, that's hillsdale.edu/redacted to enroll for free. One more time, hillsdale.edu/redacted.
Dan McAdams is here. He's the executive director of the Ron Paul Institute. Dan, good to see you as always. Just at a high level, what do you make of this trip? Do you think it's been a success so far? And do you think something big is brewing behind the scenes that us little people are not privy to?
Well, I have to admit, in the run up to the trip, I would say 4 or 5 days before the trip, we started hearing all these things about how, Trump and Netanyahu are on the outs. He's PO'd at Netanyahu. Waltz was fooling around behind his back with Netanyahu. And I kind of thought it was sort of PR spin to ease Trump's way into these Gulf Arab states. I thought it was just kind of, PR flag stuff. But, honestly, at the end of the trip, it looks like it was actually true, because you saw a very successful visit. As you referenced earlier, you saw an amazing anti-neocon speech. I wish someone would tell him that he has a bunch of neocons working for him, but the speech, nevertheless, was fantastic. And I hope this is, I mean, this could be, if he absolutely follows what he talked about there, this could be one of the most important and consequential speeches in foreign policy and presidential history, I think.
Now, I want to ask you about the libertarian take on meeting with former ISIS terrorists, because every time the media screams their head off about, like, oh my God, he's meeting with Putin. Putin's a war criminal. He's KGB. He's bad. I'm like, I don't have a problem with it. I really want diplomacy with Russia. But then I see this meeting with former ISIS leader Ahmad al-Sharaa, who was Julani, who's now running Syria. And I think we have to have diplomacy in Syria. I can't have a double standard here. So how do we take this? Because if it does lift sanctions for Syrians and they can get medicine easier, they can have prosperity easier, doesn't necessarily make Christians safer. But is that my problem? Right? And so can you help me with that internal contradiction?
I think the phrase screams their head off is probably the wrong term to use when you're talking about ISIS, because they're good at taking people's heads off. But I actually thought that was a real downside of Trump's trip. I think it was, I mean, I don't know who told him to do it. I think it was disgraceful to meet with him. He's still on our most wanted terrorist list. And I can tell you that veterans of the Iraq War are seething, because not only is he a terrorist and a murderer, he murdered and tortured American citizens, American service members in Iraq. You know, he was a courier for ISIS, and then he started up his own franchise of Al-Qaeda in Syria, where he's responsible for implementing Sharia law in the Idlib province, which was absolutely devastating to women. And to this day, Alawites, Christians, Druze are being slaughtered. There was a huge slaughter a couple of weeks ago. He's the president, and he's the one who declared it. And we're also seeing lots of women, I'm talking about teenage girls, Alawite girls, who are being kidnapped and forced into becoming the wives of some of these deranged killers who are on Julani's team. So, yes, you have to recognize the reality, I suppose, in Syria. But this, I think, is more of a nod to Israel than it is about Syria, because one of the conditions is that Julani will have to bring Syria into the Abraham Accords and all of this other business. So I think there's an ulterior motive there. But nevertheless, not really a bright spot for American foreign policy, in my opinion.
One of the other, though, so that's not, I agree with you, and that's why I said at the beginning, I think that was the blight on this trip, if there was a blight at all. But now we're learning about this Iran connection here, and this might be another bright spot, not a blight spot, but a bright spot here, that without Netanyahu's involvement, may actually be negotiating a nuclear deal where Iran would give up enriching uranium at the highest levels for nuclear weapons in return for removing of sanctions, and we would have some sort of a normalization process here. That would be a game changer in my mind, and it would be shocking that Netanyahu and Israel is not involved in this process at all. What do you make of that piece of this trip?
No, that's absolutely important. And in fact, just before we came on, it came out that Rubio had a call with Netanyahu today. And the readout is, for the first time, this administration has expressed its concerns over the treatment of Palestinians in Gaza. So that is and I'm sure it killed Rubio to say it, but this is a huge development. And I think it's a further distancing of this administration. Look, I think this deal is very close. I think one of the benefits of him talking to Gulf leaders, especially now for the rapprochement between Saudi Arabia and Iran, is that he's able to hear the other side of things. Now, no one is going to accuse the Saudis of being, overly ambitious in protecting the Palestinians. Nevertheless, he's hearing that side of it. And I think that's why we saw movement at the tail end of this trip, where we saw an indication from the Iranian side, one of the top advisors kind of teased out this idea that we would end high enrichment, we would forswear nuclear weapons forever in exchange for this. And Trump actually reposted it on his social media, which would certainly indicate that that's something that he's interested in. Now, the downside to all this, guys, is the fact that they are seething. The Republicans are seething in the House and in the Senate. 200 Republicans in the House and the Senate, and that would be every U.S. Republican senator except, thank goodness for Rand Paul, signed a letter saying you better not allow them to enrich any uranium, zero, none, or we won't pass it to the Senate, and you're going to get a junky deal like Obama had where the next president can overrule it. I think it's an absolutely despicable thing for Republicans in the legislative branch to do to their president, and it could really be a monkey wrench in the works.
Right. That's a great point.
Okay, so we need to put some pressure on our elected representatives if we can. Let's talk a little bit about the economics, because billions of dollars in deals, in trade deals done with these wealthy nations. And, you know, I think that I've started to see the liberal media putting this out as if, I saw a headline on Drudge, it said Saudi first instead of America first. Like, look what he's doing. He's legitimizing these countries. He is putting their interest first. But this really could be a form of the intentions of the New Deal, where we are shifting away American employment from government jobs to real jobs based on international trade. So can you give me a pie in the sky idea of what this could be? And then what are the caveats to look out for?
I mean, well, Matt Judge should explain that to a Boeing worker who's going to be assembling some of these planes that Qatar bought, a lot of planes, and to the other workers who are going to be building some of these things. You know, I think there's nothing wrong with the president being an emissary. I mean, he shouldn't be an agent of private government, but of being an emissary and bringing people along and signing deals, I don't see any problem with that. It's certainly better than what he criticized, which was going around the world lecturing people on how they should live. But the other side of this whole thing, and there was a fascinating article in Politico today where the Israelis are very upset because they're recognizing the massive contrast between the relationship between the U.S. and Israel, which is a net drain on our economy, on our political resources, and now what this trip has shown, which is that developing a relationship with the Arab Gulf countries can actually be a massive boom for the American economy. And I think that will further accelerate this sort of drift, I hope it will, in my opinion, accelerate this drift away from our dependent relationship with Israel, which is a negative relationship, and toward more positive relationships with countries who want to do business with us.
Yeah, when I hear people like Mark Levin say that, you know, America's closest ally, Israel, no. That's not true at all. And we've benefited in no way by this relationship at all. In fact, it's hurt the United States of America tremendously. Daniel McAdams, always great to see you. Thank you for jumping in here before the weekend. Hope you have a great weekend. Dan is from the Ron Paul.
Okay, so it looks like I missed that episode, and I'm happy that I was able to watch it and bring to the audience of my YouTube channel. I will be doing probably more of that, but I really strongly invite you to subscribe to Redacted so you can get the right information at the right time. And from my perspective, I'll be sharing this link on my social media, as well as opportunities and way to access through the clubs or the different masterminds that are focused on the business, on economics, as well as well, for some people it's gonna be their happy retirement. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you at the next episode. Thank you.